Moving on, we're into the finalists. In third place, we had Space Groove. So we have Dari, Moldy, Trader, Tagura, and Jam Man. 30 prediction points, 23 balance points. Someone take it away.
I suppose I should start because this is my team. So, yeah, let's see. So, Dari, Traitor, and Jam Man, well, me being Traitor, we've been doing a lot of practice in these upcoming weeks to invites together in our home maze. And I'd say that's gone pretty well for us. Hopefully, Moldy and Tagora have been doing their own training up in Silverdale and their league nights. But yeah, I'd say that this team has a lot of power behind it. Moldy needs almost no introduction. Dari and myself, we've been playing for quite a while. Dari's been to a couple of Nets years herself. I'm not too sure on what those years were, but they were under different LS as well. But I'll also say that Dari is one of, if not the strongest Dunedin player at the moment. Her defense is on point. Her comms are on point. Her everything is on point. She's basically the player that I wouldn't want to be playing against. Jam
She
Man
doesn't seem to be hyping herself up very much in the chat.
No, she's just shy. She's shy.
It's a misdirect, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Jam Man was at last year's invites. That was his first invites. This year he'll be playing a new maze for the first time and a new system. So it'll be really interesting to see how he performs. But we're thinking that if he overperforms like he did last year's invites, then he'll be very well off on this team. And maybe you could talk a bit about Tagora and Jono, Popeyes?
Yeah. So Moldy is the Cobra that has slacked the least on his training during the COVID years, and it still shows. So he's maybe the deadliest player in this arena. And Tagora, he was a superstar E last year. So he's a D player now, but he's like 8 feet tall. He can shoot you in blue base, green base.
Actually, 8 feet tall?
No, I don't know how tall he is, but it's insane. Surely not 8.
Let's say. Get out of town.
Taller than me, let's just say.
That's not very hard to do.
Yeah. Yeah, he was like insane for E. I think he was player of the comp or Dunedin player of the comp or something. No, he's an Auckland player. He's been coming to trainings, not like every week, but he's been coming to trainings. Like this team, when I look at it, it's like every single player on this team is a value pick for their grade. So this is the sort of team you make when you're trying to make a team to win. You don't just get the 23 points. You go, okay, who's the best D player? Who's the best C player, right? Mm-hmm. The question mark will be once again, like I've said a couple times, whether the Dunedin, they've stepped up hugely last year. Whether that step up, how much of that was to do with home maze versus training, so how much of it disappears when they come to Auckland will be the huge decider for this one. If they play like they did in Dunedin, first place team.
Trader, have you got any final thoughts for your team? Maybe, something you envision you guys doing well, or something you envision maybe being a bit, how's it going?
Yeah, we're going to crush it totally. No problems whatsoever.
Yeah.
No, and all realistic things, I think that basically the first few games, I think, will just be a test to see how we actually gel together as a team. Because obviously, it's a mixed team. It's not everyone together.
Yeah.
So what's been good for us is the fact that it has been the core of us in Dunedin being able to train together. So we've got that sort of we could probably have that standard defense going. We could have an attacking pair from there going out reasonably well. But yeah, I think this is just going to be a wait and see almost, but I've got good hopes for this team.
Popeyes, you got any last things you want to say about Space Groove before we move on?
I think I've said it all. Obviously, there's quite a few side event trophies in this team as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, look, best of luck to Space Groove. Fuck yeah. All right, move on. In second place, we have, drum roll, Hobart Devils. 35 prediction points, 22 balance points, and on the team we have Sega, Easy Points, Mantis, Nelly, and Twinkles. So I think Mantis is in the chat. Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Sega, Easy Points, Mantis, and Nelly are all on Archangels. Although Nelly might be on Cerberus, I think. I could be wrong. Hold up. Runt wrote notes. Nah, didn't say. Anyway, I can speak on. My apologies, Nelly, if you're watching. I'm having a bit of a blank. But yeah, we've got, at the very least, 3 Hobart Archangels who came third at Pre-Nats 2. Very big achievement. And we got Twinkles. And, you know, by now, I think Twinkles, everyone knows who Twinkles is. Especially if you are paying attention to the Pre-Nats teams. Thank you, Mantis. Nelly is on Cerberus. But yeah, everyone knows who Twinkles was. Anyone watching the cameras probably saw Twinkles do something absolutely ridiculous on the cameras at least once. It just doesn't make sense, but he pulls it off. So I agree with what Runt was saying about, oh, look, the Hobart teams are lined up. That's cool. They're next to each other. I agree with what Runt was saying about this team having the stronger players on paper. And I guess it's going to be about, so I believe Sega is going to be leading the team. He's maybe Mantis correct. Can Sega and Easy? Okay, thank you, Mantis. Maybe also Mantis. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Sega is captaining Archangels, but he's going to be captaining this team for the thingies. So Runt's kind of put in his notes that that could be a determining factor between. Because he was kind of tossing up like which was better out of the 2 Hobart teams, and he was saying that this team is like stronger players, but potentially like not as strong, or maybe strong's not as experienced leadership. Sega doesn't have the same leadership experience as Runt, so that could potentially be one of the things that brings this team down. Obviously, captaining is one of the most stressful roles you can have at a team, especially if you're a team that's like all of your big strategic decisions are made through your captain. It's a big ask. It's a lot of responsibility, and a lot of it is just like if you haven't been in those rough situations, then it's going to be really hard to figure out like how do you get out of them. But if I'm honest, the ounce of prevention worth a pound of cure. Just don't end up on those rough situations. And I think this team is definitely capable of doing it. You don't have to worry about bad strategic decisions if your team is leading on bases and pack points anyway, right? So, like I said, Sega Easy Points Mantis came third. Pre-Nats, they really showed their mettle. I think one of the interesting things for me, I also rated Hobart Devils and Swipers quite highly, but I think, like I was saying, for Swipers, it'll be interesting to see how much of the Hobart players' success at Pre-Nats is because it's not only home arena, but also that H2 advantage. Like no one else in Oz that I'm aware of has H2. Not to discredit the players at all. All obviously very, very, very capable players, but if I could see anything kind of bringing this team down, it would be maybe like the same things they kind of expect to happen on H2, just not happening on H Pro. Like, maybe they've gotten super used to being able to just hit barrel sensors like on a whim. And now you're going to have like last lines in a base that are just like locked in. You know what I mean? They're going to be like way harder to deal with. I don't know what the last line position is like in these arenas, in these bases, but anyway, that's kind of my ramble. Have you guys got any thoughts on this team? Connor,
I
you
mean,
can go
it's
first.
Oh, okay.
I'll save you guys third. I'll save you guys
I feel like it was about to happen again, but yeah. Honestly, I haven't got too much to say about this team. Honestly, just because I haven't met a single one of these people, so it'd be really nice to actually play against them for a start. It'll be really cool to meet these people for the first time. But yeah, I'm just thinking, like I was thinking for the other Hobart team, that the format change I can see hurting them more than especially the team that's above the Devils. Yeah, I do know that Twinkles is a beast, and that the Archangels are not slouches in any sort of game. Yeah, do you have anything to say, Popeyes?
Yeah, I mean, similar sort of story. Watching the stream, seeing the Archangels kick us and knowing they're getting Twinkles on top of that. Once again, it's hard to know how much of that is home effects and stuff, but that's probably stronger than the teams are meant to be in invites. But we'll see. Like I said, it's a particularly strong field from the NZ side as well. It is, like, historically, especially the first time coming over, the Australians do a little worse than they would at home because of the format, because it's not their home matches, etc. So, yeah, I mean, once again, this could be like a 28-point team or something, right? Depending on how misgraded they are. But it could be that their gradings are fine, and they just fit right in, right? We'll find out.
We'll find out soon enough.
Regardless, honestly, like, either way, it's still great to have them in the event.
Yeah. Do you guys have any final thoughts before we move on to our last place team? Fantastic. Runt was just saying, not gonna lie, Invites was the best comp I've ever had. So there's your reason to go to the 2024 Invites, huh? Is 2024 Invites going to be? Because obviously Nats is going to be in New Zealand as well, right? So,
well, it'll be in New Zealand. There's arguments for a bunch of places. So the way we decide is the committee decides.
Yeah.
The reason for that is we like to be able to shop around a bit rather than letting everyone vote and then being forced to go with what the community says. Obviously, we kind of know what people want, and we're trying to accommodate that. But sometimes we're going to get a way better deal, or we're going to get way more hours or something somewhere else. So we don't know yet, but there's arguments for there's strong arguments for a couple of places.
Yeah, right. Well, that'll be an interesting dynamic next year, huh? If Nats and Invites happens to be in the same place.
Well, that's one argument for having it. So typically it wouldn't go to Auckland again, right? Like it's Auckland now. Typically it would go to Dunedin, or the third option is try and get somewhere else, right? So if Nats is in Mount Wellington, there's a strong argument for trying to combine Invites with like Pre-Nats 2, Pre-Nats 3.
Right.
Because that would be a huge win, right? Obviously, Dunedin argument is it's their turn. And then if we can get, for example, we've just got this Invercargill connection, right? It would be incredible to go somewhere brand new.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's something we're not thinking about yet. Like, well, these are the debates that will come up in the next 6 months or so. But yeah, we don't know at the moment.
I just wanted to point out, Karachi, welcome to the chat, by the way. First time chat. Welcome. Karachi's given his cheeky predictions, as he's put it, and it completely flips our predictions on its head. So just out of curiosity, he had Lit in first, Dysfunctional second, Legalized Sneak takes third, Trogedy of Hamlet fourth, Troubleshooters fifth, Hobart Devils sixth, Space Groove seventh, Hobart Swipers eighth, The Nameless ninth, and the Henhouse 10th. So the only thing that was the same was the bottom two teams. It's completely flipped on its head. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah. Like it could happen. Like seriously, it should be a really close call.
Yeah. Well, that's what you kind of want, right? It's not a very exciting comp if everyone's like, yeah, well, this team's obviously gonna win, right? Message to you, Vikings, right? Anyway. we'll move on to our first place team. You know, if you're paying attention, you'll know there's only one team left. Trogedy of Hamlet. 36 prediction points, 23 balance points. On the team we have, is that Cheru or Cheru?
Cheru.
Cheru. Jeez. How about Popeyes? I'll let you read these names.
I don't know that one. Guerrero or something. I don't know. He's changed his alias.
Yeah.
Hatman
Euro.
Awesome. Yeah.
We'll get confirmation from him when we're there.
All right. Awesome. You let me know how to pronounce that. Who wants to talk about these guys first? Strengths, weaknesses, and yeah, maybe just how we expect these guys to play. Yep, Popeyes, yep.
So this team is, I think the reason that people put them in first, myself included if I put them in first, but I definitely put them in the top two.
Find out in a sec.
They've got 4 people who are training multiple times a week in this arena. And then Troggy he's been every year. He's been every year. He always pulls his weight. He is also, you know, this is his home base. He just doesn't come every week. It's again sort of the same thing I said about Space Groove. It's the sort of team you'd make if you're trying to actually get the very most out of your 23 points. Mm-hmm. Hatman is insane in mixed comps. And then Chiro, Rogue, and Guerrero. I don't know why Cody changed his alias. They're all training a bunch, and they're all very capable. So they're going to be in the position where even if, like, for example, if Hatman's out on attack, they're still going to have a solid defense, right? Whereas in a lot of these teams, especially if you've only got one A, you kind of have to choose.
Yeah.
These guys, yeah, for like they've got just so many hours compared to anyone else in the tournament and in the arena. So yeah, for me, it's pretty obvious. You guys know the New Zealand law; everyone's related. So Rogue is Hatman's wife. Chiro is Hatman's sister. Cody is Wayne's son. Wayne is Rogue's uncle or something, cousin. And Troggy's related somehow as well.
Mental.
So, yeah, full family team. Yeah, it should be I can't see these guys not making finals. Like,
how many of their family dinners are just like ruined by? I say ruined, just end up just being talking about laser tag, and all the other family members that don't play laser tag are like, for God's sake, let's talk about something.
I mean, if there was someone who didn't play laser tag in the family, maybe it would happen. But
that's true. They're all on it. Yeah. Well, yeah. Connor, what thoughts do you have on Trogedy of Hamlet for strengths, weaknesses, what you expect to see from them strategic wise, you know?
Yeah, I'd also agree with Hopeyes. Like, it's kind of hard to see these guys not making finals with just how much they've been playing together, and just in general, honestly. And I believe Rogue, Chiro, and Gero are going to next year on our team, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So they got that core, and combine that with Hatman, one of the better players on the Cobras.
Yeah,
he's a beast.
You can say that.
You can say it to his face, bro. He won't
yeah.
And yeah, Troggy's always a solid pick year after year. I think how many trophies does he have? He's got a few now, surely.
Troggy.
Yeah.
He's been on a few of those teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, I think Troggy's also one of those players that you don't really think about, but he is consistently up in those top teams with those top players. But yeah, as far as weaknesses, honestly, I can't really see. Maybe they have a bit of a meltdown game here and there, and then teams can capitalize on that. But it's kind of hard to see that
happening. Get in their heads.
Yeah.
Get in their noggins. Mental warfare. Love it.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, could happen with this team.
Yeah, it's all a bit like high energy, you know. And then
they're all older now, so maybe less. The Hatman Rogue dynamic used to be a bit volatile.
Right.
but I think they've sorted that out now. So
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be fine.
Awesome. Well, in terms of side events, are we expecting any big things from these guys? Obviously, I mean, Hatman should do very well in whatever variation is doing, right?
Yeah, I mean, also, I'm not sure who they're all playing with, but assuming Rogue and Cheryl are strong.
And some playing size
combinations.
apparently, says Arcane. Thank you for that insight.
Oh,
Yeah. I believe Rogue is with Dari for both tag team and doubles. So that'll be
that's
interesting.
solid then. Yeah.
Yeah. Not quite sure who Cherry's with. Or
Yeah, I'm not sure. If she's playing with someone at her level or above, then they'll be contenders in whatever they're playing with.
yeah, and Guerrero is with myself and Kaiopoulos from the Nameless for triples. So I'm cool. I'm like reasonably confident. I think it will be tough to make finals, but I don't think it's unreasonable with how the teams are at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, look, do we have any last thoughts for Trogedy of Hamlet before we kind of wrap this show up?
Scary team.
No, should do well.
Well, yeah, before we close up, I'll kind of scroll over here to these were the final predictions from everyone. So I compiled mine, Popeye's, Trader, Annie's, and then yeah, got kind of the points system to decide the overall official Laser Sports Academy predictions. So yeah, as you can see, Hobart Swipers, you know, we got 1st, 9th, 8th, where are they here? 7th. So they're all over the shop. Like I was saying, I think they're the biggest discrepancy in terms of where they were rated. But Trogedy of Hamlet, I think, was the only team that was in everyone's finals. So no pressure, guys. No pressure at all. You just got to make finals because everyone expects you to. Anyway. Yeah. Well, yeah, I think we'll like we've been doing for all of the recent competitions. We'll do a post invitationals review, and we'll do we like to do a cheeky game of you know, figuring out whose predictions were the closest. So you know, if you gentlemen are keen to join me, I'm saying it live on the air, so you guys feel pressured to say yes. If you guys are keen to join me for the review, we can, you know, have a look-see and see how close we were. Yeah, you guys keen for that?
Yeah, I'm keen for that.
Sure.
I'll back my horse.
Cool.
Yeah.
Happy days.